Welcome back to step 3, assembling your mini chip bag. All right, so now that we have this, the most important thing for you to have is scissors or something like this, which is a paper trimmer. And I love using my paper trimmer. I actually have a guillotine paper trimmer that I use more than this one. So what you're going to do here, okay, you're going to lift it up, and this, remember, is an 8.5 by 11, and half of an 8.5 by 11 is 5 and a half. So we're going to measure it here to 5.5. Okay, so 5.5 right here, and that should get it in the correct placement for cutting it exactly in half. Okay. Right. So now you have two versions here. Okay. Because it has these trims here, I go ahead and just trim down the top of it. So let's see here. That is, this is 5.5. So just bring it down 1/8 of an inch. Oh, is that right? I think so. Or a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch. Okay. And cut that down. Okay. All right. So that's what I do. You can also do scissors if you want. Okay. And then one of these sides you're going to have to trim. Don't trim both, just trim one. Okay, so I like to trim this one. And so that, let's see here. I believe this is good. And let me go ahead and expand this out here so I can actually see the measurement. This is the nice thing about this trimmer. Definitely helps expanding it. So this is 8.5 by 11, so we're just going to bring it down to a quarter of, I'm sorry, 1/8 of an inch, and maybe a little bit more there. And I like to just always go down instead of up. I don't know, it just gives me a hard time if I do it the other way. That probably was a little bit too much material, but that's okay. All right. All right, so there is your cutting portion. Okay, and let's go ahead and do the next thing that you want to do. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is your score lines. Now this is a little bit trickier just because I don't have a bone folder. I actually use a scoring tool, but you can take a bone folder and just with a ruler just go straight down the line. And let me see if I can find a ruler, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I found my ruler, and basically what you're going to do is you're going to take your bone folder and you're going to not press it hard, but just lightly. Where the stitches are, you want to go beyond the stitches. Okay, so not in the inside, but outside the stitches. Just line that up with your ruler, all right? And you just want to make sure that I'm not having this wrong. Okay, and then just go like that. Okay, and There you go. And then you're going to do the same for this side. And let me flip it over. If you're looking for a really good ruler, this Tim Holtz ruler is fantastic. Right? And there you go. Okay, so you barely can see that, but what it's going to do is going to allow the paper to kind of break down and fold easier. See that? Okay, that's all that we want to do. We don't want to fold it, you know, like make a crease. We just want it to, the paper to just bend a little bit easier. Okay, so we'll do that, and then we'll do the other side. And just, again, just like make it a little bend just a little bit better. Okay, and make sure that it's actually even. It's not poking out, like, it's not like, can you see that? It's not like that. You don't want it to be like that. Okay. And here, this. There you go. All right. And then see, now the two line up and you can't even tell that there were margins. Isn't that pretty cool? Okay, so the next step is gluing it. But before you glue it, I recommend that you take a scrap piece of paper, okay? Any kind of scrap paper. I have tons of these paper about, you know, cleaning my print heads and stuff. And what I want you to do is I want you to fold it in 4, okay? You're going to be doing a lot of these. You'll want to do this, okay? Fold it in 4, fold it in 4 again, so half. Cut that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and then we're going to do this again. Just like that, okay? What are you going to do with this? This is going to be your protector, okay? Of course, it's way too big, so just fold it in half, okay? And you'll put it in there, okay? You're protecting it with from it sticking together and adhering in the middle, okay? So now you want to glue it, and let's talk about some gluing options, okay? We have this Barely Arts glue. It is pretty good. I use it all the time. It will adhere to this. Because of its glossy, it's a little bit tricky. You have to hold it longer. Okay, so that's one option. The second option, double adhesive tape. Okay, depending on the brand of your tape, it can work, but over time, it can come loose unless you have Sukwang. Okay, Sukwang is a very special kind of tape. This is Sukwang, and this is bookbinding tape. Once you put it down, you adhere it, it's not going to come off. It's not going to budge. If you make a boo-boo, sorry, you know, you might as well kiss your project goodbye. Okay, so this you have to really be careful, but it is the best tape whatsoever for putting together things that need to be closed, or for, you know, doing books and albums. Okay, and the last option is this. This is a glue gun. Now you can go basic glue gun. I like this glue gun. This glue gun is pretty amazing. This happens to be cordless. And so you just go like that. If it's charged up, it'll be red and it'll show up. And then you just do your taping. When you need to recharge it, okay, then you just put it on there and it has a little drip stand. Fantastic. I had to turn on my light, so ignore this little shadow from my light, overhead light, and we'll start putting it together. Okay, my glue gun is nice and hot, and now I'm ready to assemble it. So I'm going to put this down first, okay, and I'm just going to tell you guys that it is easier if you just put down a little bit of glue, okay, before you start trying to do the whole thing. Just because if you put the glue gun in here and it gets cold, it's like you didn't put the glue at all, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and take a little dab of the glue and put it right there and go like that, right, just to secure it. And then I'm going to put glue in the inside here. So right here. And close it. I'm not the fastest with glue, so that's why I'm doing it like this. I know some of you guys might be going, why don't you just do the whole thing? Because I'm special. Okay, and then I'm going to put the glue on the rest of that here. And here like that. And close that down as well. Okay, and just be careful about getting excess glue. Okay, a little goes a long way, believe it or not. Okay, so now that's like that. Now I can go here and kind of open this up and add some glue here. Okay, so I know it might be a little bit more of the complicated way, but like I said, I'm special. And I'm going to seal that. There we go. Okay. And that should be good. That should be closed. Don't think we need any more. Maybe a little bit more here. Okay. So if you want, you can glue the whole thing down and then try to put it together. But for me, that never works. And so then you're going to just take out the paper. So you understand why the paper is there? Because I'm a little challenged with glue. All right. Yeah. So, and this probably could have been scored a little bit further out, as you can see, because it didn't get the stitching like this. But that's okay. I mean, like I said, you know, when you do this, it's going to be fine however you do it. If you're going to be using your bone folder to score the ends. But as you can see, that's what ended up happening, is that because I did not use my scoring tool, which is it's a board. I just cut myself a little bit short on the real estate here. Okay, now I can get my gender bender, and I have a whole bunch of hot glue strings everywhere, which I hate. But I can take my my gender bender, and what I did here was I put my gender bender in a little baggie here, okay, just like that. And let me go ahead and close this up. I'm gonna put this in here just in case. Okay. Oh, let's see here. Right. And down. Okay, now I did glue the paper, but that's okay. See, and that's why that paper is really important. You don't want to just do all this work and then all of a sudden the inside is glued, right? Okay, so this is closed, and let's go ahead and do this one, the rest of it. See, if I can do this, guys, you guys can do this. Okay, this is the hardest part for me. It's actually gluing the darn thing. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's glued. This is glued. Right. And then now comes the fun part, actually stuffing it. So I took a gender bender, and let me grab that. I think everyone is familiar on how to make samples with our chunk bars, but in case you are not, then I'm going to go ahead and explain it to you. So when you use your chunks, not your snarky bars. Snarky bars, completely different, okay? Chunks, you're going to microwave this on both sides for about 10 to 15 seconds. This allows it to warm up and be able to cut smoothly. And the knife that I use is a Pampered Chef knife. This is what it looks like, okay? Very sturdy. And I cut my gender bender like this in either fifths or sixths. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Okay, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that's 5. And 5 actually makes them a little bit more chunkier. I thought, I don't know. The only thing about doing it 5 is this uneven amount. Now you can fit up to 3. 4 would be pushing it, but if you're going to be giving this out alone, I would do 3 and then a fresh creamy milk to go with it, or a couple fresh creamy milks to go with it, because this is gonna do maybe your arm and a leg. Okay. You can also scoop them into the screw-on makeup containers for larger volumes, but it's just a sample, so be careful of like how much you're giving away. One of the ideas that I had when promoting this was if they purchased a gender bender chunk, then they would get 3 of these bags, okay, filled with the chunks that were from the gender bender, and then a fresh creamy milk sample inside each of them. Okay, doing that allows it, I think $20 is a good cost, which includes shipping, and it also includes the materials needed to print off this. Okay, because you know, ink and photo paper, it does end up costing you in the long run. If I wanted to make a bigger sample of this, the fresh creamy milk, then I would go ahead and make it a bundle package where they get the gender bender, they get the fresh creamy milk, okay, and then sample containers that are this size. Okay, these happen to be ones that screw. Okay, don't know how many ounces that is, but this is quite a bit more than this Laycon here, as you can see. It's almost double. Yeah, it's almost double the size. Okay, so I would go ahead and give them 3 of these, and then that way I just scoop in you know, what that that sample in here, and then ship them the container, the rest of the container. Of course, you know, because we're not allowed to sell samples. This is $25 or $22. I can't remember. I have to look on the website. But the cost of both of these would put it up into the $40, $44 price range, which I'm thinking for 3 samples, I mean 3 bags, that is, oh, let me do the math. And honestly, thinking about doing the fresh creamy milk with it, I would end up reducing this to 2 coals per bag, and a larger than this sample of the fresh creamy milk. That way, this is going to end up being like $45 total that the customer is paying. And in order for them to feel like they're getting their bang for the buck, they're not going to pay $15 a piece for these little tiny bags to give away for stocking stuffers, right? So you want to give them more of a value. So if you cut this five times and then half, then you would have 5 bags to fill up. Okay, and that would give you about $9 a piece for these bags. Okay, that in their minds, you're not going to sell the bags for $9 a piece, but that's what ends up being the cost. If you slice up your chunk 6 times, then you can get 6 bags, okay, and 6 bags, then it's $7.50 a piece. So just to give you an idea of the cost and stuff, if you're going to go ahead and bundle it up with the fresh creamy milk and the gender bender to make it seem like it's worth their while, okay. You can either fill it up for them, or they can fill it up themselves. But if they fill it up themselves, they are not going to be able to do this very last step in the assembly process. Okay, so let me put away some things and get to that. Oh, before I do that, they also have these, which you can get at the dollar store, and I think you can get like 6 of these for $1. I can't remember exactly the cost of this, but this was like $50, and I think it was like $50 for $10, but I could be wrong. I'll double check on that. Yeah, so you can get these 5-gram containers with the lids for $7.99 for 50. So if you do the math, it's cheaper to get it from Amazon than from the dollar store. But I'll have the link to that in my blog as well. Okay, so I'm going to use this one since I have not crimped the bottom. We have this crimping tool here. Okay, this tool is pretty cool. And what you do is you lay it in there. Okay, and this is a little hard to demonstrate, but what you want to do, let me get the paper out of there, is you will want to put it in there, okay, where the bottom is like flush up against it, and then they have this little turning thing, and if you turn it, well, let me do it this way. Here, if you turn it, hold on one second. It's really much easier than you think. It's just, it's hard to demonstrate it while you are trying to film, okay? Why is it not working here? There we go. Okay, so I think we need to have it down here. I've never done it like on film, so I apologize. Okay, yeah, so we want to have it underneath, and then, well, let me think about this. Why is this not? Okay, so I figured out what it was. Okay, and I'm glad I'm doing this here. So this knob has to be like this in order for it to go like that. Okay, so make sure that it's flat like this, and then you're gonna feed it through here like so, and then you're going to, well, it's not doing it now. Hello, it was doing it just fine. It's hard, that's why. There we go. Takes a little bit of strength, okay, and then reverse. Woo! See how it did the crimping there? That was a little bit difficult here. There was nothing wrong with it. It's just I wasn't allowing enough pressure to go like this. So if you have arthritis, I'm so sorry. Oh, it's like a battle. All right, so let's go ahead and put this over to the side. And we're going to fill this up with the agenda bender. Ooh, it's late now here, guys. And then we're going to put a fresh creamy milk in here. Okay. And you can see how much room there is. There's not much room. Okay. You want to fold down that plastic bag just a little bit so it doesn't have a problem closing. Okay. And really that's like perfect. Okay. You don't want to add much of anything else. And then we're going to go ahead and glue this. Okay. You might have it crinkle just a little bit. Okay. Just be patient. All right. And I'm having my heat gun warm up again. And I'll be right back. Okay, I think it's warm enough. Hopefully it is. And so I'm going to put glue right at the top of this edge here. And here as well. There. And close it up just like that.